What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mud Bandit Off-Road. Today we're working in the shop. We're going to be showing you how to change oil in your Rubicon 520. This is the Deluxe model 2023, power steering, all the bells and whistles. 4 quarts of oil. Go ahead and use the Honda oil. That's the way to go. It's SAE 10W30, 4 quarts. That is the part number for your oil filter. Quick, easy job. This is the first service on this machine. So let me show you how to do it. Enough talking, let's get started. All right, we're gonna start with removing these push pins. As I've said before in previous videos, get yourself one of these little push pin pullers. Get them at Harbor Freight, next to nothing. Very, very handy. Now we can go in here and start popping everything loose. Real easy to do. That will allow you access to the oil filter, which is right there on the sides of these machines. Get your oil drain pan, slide it down the machine, get you a 10mm ratchet wrench, and break these 3 bolts loose. They're not super tight, don't have to be super tight. You want to be very easy with this. This is cast aluminum. Should just be able to take your fingers right there, spin it, just like that. Get you a small flathead screwdriver. Stick right there and just twist it just a little bit. You got to be easy with it. You don't want to break it. Give it a little twist like so, and just work it right out, just like that. You got your drain pan where it needs to be, where you don't make a mess. Be sure not to lose that little spring. And you can simply grab hold of that filter, pull it right out, just like that. Filter looks pretty good and pretty clean for the first 20 hours on this machine. I'm gonna go ahead and replace this O-ring. O-ring is probably still good, but while we're here, it doesn't hurt to go ahead and replace it. Clean that O-ring groove up with a rag. And don't put your O-ring on dry. Either use Vaseline or some dielectric grease. Either one will work. Just put a little in your fingers like so. Take that O-ring, put you a thin layer around that O-ring. Roll it on, and you're ready to install. Don't forget your spring. Put your spring back in place. Get your oil filter. Once again, that is the part number for your oil filter. You want this black rubber ring to go against the face of the motor. You want this little indentation which fits on top of your spring, just like that. I'll get a little leftover oil on my finger, put a little bit around that rubber seal. Slide it in like so. And you want to be very careful. You've got an arrow that faces up. You want to be very careful going in. Make sure that spring, it's a little tricky. Make sure that spring is in the right place. Sometimes it helps to get a screwdriver, hold that spring in place like that. Turn it where everything lines up, and you can snap it. You want to feel it snap, push it in just like that. Then you get your 3 bolts. Screw those in. And like I said before, a 10mm ratchet wrench works best for this job because you really don't have the clearance right here for a socket and ratchet. Snug them all up first. Don't over tighten them. Just snug them up. All right. All right, we're gonna get under the machine. Right here, located right in the center. You'll see right there, that'll be a 17mm. Get right here. Break her loose. Get her drain pan set up. Man, that oil looks good. Looks like it's brand new. You always want to inspect this magnet that is on your drain plug. Nothing, no shavings whatsoever. Nothing at all. Looks great. We'll go to the top side. I'll show you how to replace this crush washer. All right, we got a drain plug out right here. I always want to remove that crush washer and replace it with a new one every time. Those crush washers have a flat side and a beveled side. You want the beveled side facing the head of the bolt, just like that. So now we'll get back under there, tighten it up. We'll be ready to put our oil in. All right, our oil is drained out. We'll get our drain plug with our new crush washer. Screw a drain plug in. Snug it up by hand. You don't want to over tighten these. You just want to snug it down. There you go. If you don't have the feel for this, you can get you a torque wrench, set it and do it. I've been doing this all my life. I know how much to put on it and how not to over tighten it. So if you have issues with that, get you a torque wrench, set it to the appropriate specs, torque it down, you'll be good to go. Okay, make sure you get all the mud out from around the plug. Unscrew the old fill cap. All right, we'll put our funnel in. A small funnel works best for that. And here we go, 4 quarts of oil. And quart number 4 going in. All right, that is 4 quarts of oil. We'll reinstall our fill plug, snug it up good. Now we want to crank the machine up and run it until the engine gets to temperature. Switch it off, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then check our oil. All right, the machine's warmed up. We've got 2 bars. We're gonna switch it off, let the machine sit. All right, the machine is set for about 5 minutes. We're gonna check our oil level. You wanna unscrew the dipstick, wipe it off, set it back in, but do not screw it in. That's the level you want, and it's perfect right there. You can see it's almost up to the full line. That's what we want. That is just right. It does say in the manual to check your valve lash, your valve clearance. I'm not gonna do that. You can listen to the machine when it's running. If you hear that ticking, that you know your valve lash is out of adjustment, and then you'll go in and adjust that. I guess I had a good Japanese guy that built this machine, because this one sounds perfect. There's no ticking whatsoever. So unless I hear that ticking, I'm not gonna fool with it. I know it's where it needs to be. Also going to check our air filter. If y'all watched some of my previous videos, y'all know I put dielectric grease all the way around in that groove to seal any water from getting in our air box. And with just 20 hours, I know it's gonna look good. Air box is clean. We put this machine in some pretty deep water last trip. Everything's clean, everything's dry, snorkel good. You can still feel the oil on that air filter. That's what you want. So we're not gonna mess with it. We just checked, make sure everything was good to go. All right, if you have changed the oil, we changed the oil about 2 hours before the service was actually due, because we're going to Bogs and Boulders for a full weekend, and we didn't want the service to hit while we were up there riding. So to reset it, what you do is you mash the button, hold it in, then turn the key on. You see the light flashing. That's all you do. Now it's reset, and it'll pop up next time on the 100 hour when it's time for another oil change. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'll be at Bogs and Boulders in about another 2 weeks, up there all weekend long riding. We'll have several videos, day and night ride videos on that trip. Be sure to watch some of our upcoming videos. I am going to be servicing the Talon as well before we go up and ride. We'll be doing that in a couple of days. Getting it all serviced. We're going to grease the wheel bearings, show you how to do the wheel bearing maintenance, as well as oil, filter change, air filter, pre-filter, all that good stuff to get the old Mud Bandit ready to roll. Thank y'all. See y'all on the next one.